So I'm delighted this morning to be with Jane Skynner. So Jane, your background is in interior design, and that's a huge influence on your business, your property business. Can you let your my listeners know a little bit more about your property background and the influence of interior design?
Yeah, hi Brendan, morning. Thanks for having me on here. Yeah, I use my interior design when I buy a property. It enables me to buy more recently some properties on the southeast coast. So I can buy something in a really cute area, do it up in a very individual style, and then I've been holding those as holiday lets. So they create a better yield, and they offer something very different for the holiday maker, as opposed to perhaps a service department, which I know is a popular thing at the moment in the cities. But that's a different product. You've still got to offer something that will appeal to a businessman who just wants something that is at a convenient location, and he wants Wi-Fi and his linen changed, every
So,
week.
so if someone's listening to this interview right now and they want to, have a golden nugget on interior design, because it's fascinating. I had an interview earlier this week with Carolina, who's an interior designer as well, and she was looking at functionality and space. What would your number one tip be to someone who's, may not necessarily be the most creative interior designer? What should they be looking for when they go into a property?
Um, well, often it's the architectural elements that already exist. So if you've got high ceilings or large windows, and the position, the way, whether it's north facing or south facing, you can't really change that through interiors. So that is a great bonus. If you find it's north facing, then you look first at where you can use perhaps light and mirror, i.e. the LED strips, create discrete lighting behind cornices, or drop the ceiling and put a rope light round, just to create interest through, I'd say, light and mirror if it's used discreetly.
Sure. So,
So that's an illusion, really. You're creating an illusion. And then the second thing is to add colour and use it wisely. Soft hues, contrasting hues.
and in terms of the deals which you've purchased, um, people talk about the funding and the finding, and usually it's the finding side which people struggle with, or certainly to find the good deals. So we were talking offline about how you find your deals. You don't use any particular software, such as more your development or your relationship with agents.
Mm.
Um, how have you created an effective relationship?
I think it's just being a good listener, and the agents know that you're serious when they've seen perhaps what you've done before. But what's more important is sometimes being able to understand what the seller has just been through and where they are, in terms of what price they want, what's their time factor, who are they trusting. 'Cause a lot of people, if they hear a developer's on the scene, they just think, they're going to be ripped off. Well, that's not necessarily the case, because we have to do a lot of work and take a lot of risks, so therefore we need a profit. So it's kind of trying to get to the seller and retrain the way they think about their property and what it's worth and what a developer is there for.
Hmm. And Jane, in terms of what you've been working on, in terms of going forward over the next couple of years, where do you see yourself in terms of development,
Um,
or in terms of um, accommodation on the south coast, holiday lets?
um, well, I'd still like to develop holiday properties. I don't particularly want to hold too many more, because I suppose I've got enough hard work. I think it's easier to develop and sell, but perhaps to sell on a group of holiday lets, a block of holiday lets, to perhaps whoops, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's this video
What's
has not even gone live, and you're already busy. So
yeah. Ah, I know. So perhaps instead of doing a one-off holiday let or a holiday home, to do maybe a block or not should I say a hotel, but copy what maybe the city serviced accommodation developers are doing. They're offering, because there's since Airbnb. Sorry. Sorry, Brendan.
No, you're as I say, you're extremely.
Am I busy? Yes, somebody's trying to get me. What I was going to say is I'm looking at the model that the developers in London now are looking at. So since Airbnb, that's a huge disruptor to the hospitality industry, I think London hotels have suffered. And so
Oh, that's interesting. You say that, because that is the conventional view, and that's.
yeah. So, and what's happening, they're all turning now to serviced accommodation. The trouble is, Brendan, we might have a glut of that. We've had a glut of HMOs and rent to rent. And the next thing is, so many people are developing out blocks of serviced accommodation. I think that's great, but then I think you've got to watch your brand and you've got to use social media really well. And I think the other thing they're adding into those serviced accommodations is smaller rooms, smaller pads, but then just a lounge. There's no concierge, because you can look on your phone and find out whatever you want to do. Go to Snapchat or chat or Instagram and find out what's around you. But they have a central sort of convening lounge where anybody in that building, whether they're there for 2 days or 3 months, can come down and mix and socialize if they want. So that's an interesting concept. So I'm thinking, well, I'm sure that would work in a holiday location, which it just allows me to be more creative when I'm buying, as I said before, a holiday let. You can just have a more funky interior than perhaps you put into the city. It's because I can buy cheaper on in a holiday location because it's outside a city. So it allows you to have a bit more fun inside, but still achieve a good yield, because they're paying for a lifestyle experience.
So Jane, in terms of people connecting with you, is it simply via Facebook or LinkedIn, or is it email, or what's the best way to connect with you?
At the moment, I'm still pretty old-fashioned. It's email, but I'm about to hopefully learn a bit more about Snapchat and the GS filtering that I think he's been talking about at the Google campus, and he's going to be with you next week at Wandsworth, I think.
Yeah, next week Rob will be speaking, going into a lot more detail about geolocation. So if anyone wants to get a hold of you, Jane, is the best way to go directly through me? Then I can pass your email address on.
Happy to do that. Yes, or give me a call, email.
Okay, so if you listeners, if you're looking for advice, particularly on interior design, what opportunities are you looking for, Jane, right now?
Right now, actually, I'm looking to just expand a little bit. So I'm looking for a partnership, a business partnership that is not just a one-off JV deal, a development deal. Obviously, that's of interest too. So a development deal, but a partnership is more important at the moment. So somebody that may have complementary skills. It might be an architect, it might be a builder, it might be a surveyor, or just a businessman, really, to go on the business side of raising funds for developments, for larger developments.
Okay, brilliant. I just want to say a huge thanks for you taking time out this morning. I'm sure we're going to catch up another time on a video. I'm sure, I'm sure our listeners are going to catch up with you as well. As I say, huge thanks for you taking time out this morning, Jane, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.